Hi, everyone, and welcome to Crypto U. Today, we're going to be talking with one of the leaders of Simmitri. Simmitri is a company doing some cool things in the blockchain space and is related to renewable energies. So, brief disclaimer, none of the information that we're talking about here is meant to be financial advice. These are simply our opinions and ultimately are just sharing them with you today. Make sure you talk to a financial advisor before you make any sort of investments in crypto. Now that we've got that out of the way, many of you may know that I have a little over 4 years in renewable energy in my background. And so I came across this company, Simmitri, and they had some really cool things that they were working on that were kind of starting to combine both the solar industry and renewables to the blockchain. And so wanted to make sure that I just brought this out to you guys just as a chance to take a look at it. And today will actually be a part one of a few different interviews that we're going to do with Simmitri. We really wanted to take a deep dive into who they were. And so we wanted to start really just in their marketing department, kind of understand a little bit about their community and what's driving them, existing customers, and things of the sort. So basically, what we'll do just before we get too ahead of ourselves, I want to go ahead and introduce you to Wolfgang Ward. How's it going, Wolfgang?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So before we get started, can you just tell us a little bit about like how you got into crypto and kind of, everyone has a story. So what was yours?
So about 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, I started seeing Bitcoin here and there, and I just kind of discarded it because I thought it was like a gamer's coin or just something else that I'm not really into gaming, so I didn't really think it was for me. But recently, I've been remodeling a house, and my architect would come to my office, and we'd go over the plans and stuff. And he said, "Have you looked at this crypto in a while?" And I was like, "No, I haven't been taking it seriously." And so he pulled up some charts on like Coin Market Cap or something, and I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy!" And that was in July of 2017, so a year ago. And since then, I bought my first Bitcoin, I think July 31st or August 1st, and was just hooked. Been doing trading and buying and selling it all year.
Yeah, it's pretty addictive. I know most people say there's always that one like crazy friend that kind of introduced them into the space. And then, just like myself, when I first got in and bought my first coin, it was like, okay, now I got to watch it every day, which I could say is both a good thing and potentially a horrible thing because you might not get much else done, but I
Nope.
totally understand. Well, that's great. Well, so Wolf, like I also remember just looking over your site briefly and looking, just basically under your description, it said that you were in the military. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you did in the service?
Yeah, so right out of high school, I joined the Marine Corps. It was actually, I was in boot camp when September 11th happened. So I was one of those who went in thinking I was just going to get some free college off the GI Bill, and it ended up being 2 combat tours to Iraq. So having that influence over those tours, I got out and started I started helping military families with information about how to receive benefits and incentives based on their military service.
Oh, cool. That's really cool. I know that it starts to make tuition for college probably seem pretty cheap when you have to trade off of going to two different two different battles for your college tuition fund, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this too. It said that Symmetri's been in business for roughly 23 years. So tell us just a little bit about the background of Simmitri.
Yeah, it's a family-owned business since 1995. The Garcias started it as a roofing company, just your basic construction roofing company that they evolved into solar. It was an easy segue into solar, having that knowledge base of roofing systems and such. Their son Jonathan came to the table with his academic background and renewable energy and solar systems and stuff, and started merging what was affordable roofing and solar into this new idea of solar and yada yada of clean energy. So they rebranded it as Simmitri, offering solar for years now, and one of the original ones who went from solar or roofing into solar and started evolving into energy efficiency and products and into what now the blockchain service.
Cool. That's really neat. So tell me a little bit about like, what inspired you to join the Symmetry team and when you actually joined them.
So originally I was a marketing vendor for them. I was generating solar leads for them for all of 2017.
Okay.
And at the end of, I was trading crypto, and like everybody, I was getting really excited about how, everybody was getting great returns on their portfolio in 2017. So at the time I was involved in these startups that were generating leads and doing all this stuff for the military communities, also with college students and homeowners and senior citizens and all sorts of demographics that I was pushing out incentives and benefits for, based on their demographics and what they're trying to do. So as individuals were looking into going solar, I put solar incentives in front of them, and so I was doing that for Simmitri for a whole year. And as I was getting excited about crypto and just doing a lot of trading, I started to eventually getting out of my own companies and I was trying to go into like a mini retirement, because I was not only, seeing a lot of profits in the crypto space, but I also have two small children. I have a 1-year-old now. So at the time he was just a little baby. So I wanted to kind of take a little break and get out of that. But we had our meeting at the beginning of the year in January, and Pam and Jonathan and them were saying, what's marketing going to look like this year? And I said, honestly, I don't know if I'm going to be involved much because I'm getting out. So unless you're a blockchain or crypto company, I don't want really nothing to do with it. So that's when the question said, well, what if we were? Because they were already looking into it and questioning that avenue. So of course that piqued my interest, and they brought me on full time as a marketing executive. And so I said, this is a perfect way to kind of align my direction. Kind of canceled the plans of my mini retirement, but ultimately, the stars aligned, and here we are.
That's awesome. Well, so I remember after reading the white paper, I know that you guys have been working on several different products to like help, both homeowners and business owners, in, being able to be like kind of rewarded by crypto, but ultimately, like whether it's your home or your office, it can be run with some sort of artificial intelligence, or, just at a very high level. Kind of like tell our viewers exactly kind of what that is and what the goal of the Symmetry components inside of your home are.
Sure. So the services that we provide is either production, storage, savings, or distribution. So as we go into a building, we're actually specialists who are trying to optimize building performance for that location. So, we have solar systems, and we have metrics that we collect based on usage, either on our own tools or through partnerships and just equipment that we use. So each building obviously has meters and metrics that they use for how much energy that they're saving and producing and all that stuff. So what we do is we kind of tokenize it, and we add SIM tokens to that economy. So based on your behavior, you're able to kind of earn tokens, right? Mm-hmm. So as a Symmetry in the Symmetry network and as a platform participant, those metrics are actually going onto the blockchain, and the smart contracts are executing incentives. So just like I was offering incentives and benefits inside of profiles based on demographic behavior and who you were as a person, we were matching eligibility criteria based on who you were, and your lifestyle. Now we're taking energy metrics and data and applying that energy profile, applying incentives and crypto to that energy profile. So basically, at a big level, however much you produce or save or distribute efficiently is how much you earn.
Interesting. So you guys like use smart contracts to kind of like facilitate deals of either production on your end and consumption to the utility, or kind of vice versa, just depending on what type of setup you have there at the house, and you're rewarded in crypto.
Exactly.
That's really cool. So let me ask you this, like, everyone's question is always going to be, well, so what do I do with this crypto now? Like, do you have a way of being able for people to actually use crypto in a normal way?
Yeah, so there's a number of different ways that you can use the SIM token, and of course we're kind of crescendoing that into different options.
Okay.
But in the blockchain crypto market, everybody wants to see the token on exchanges, and they want to see volume on the exchanges, and so forth. And as as we kind of go into that, even though we've been around for 23 years, we've only been around in the crypto space for we got listed last month.
Right.
So as we make relationships with these exchanges to build volume and interest into the stability of the token, we also wanted to approach what else can we look into to help out our community who hold tokens to use them. So we've kind of had discussions with our partners about which products they can use SIM tokens for. We've also are about to launch kind of an auction series, so people can use their SIM tokens to bid, to have kind of an auction war or conduct bids on energy efficient products, products that you can drive or walk in or attend, or all sorts of different products and services that are in the brand and messaging of Simmitri.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'd definitely like to hear more about that. Maybe we'll touch on that here again in a few more minutes. But let me ask you this. So like your community, tell us a little bit about your community, existing customer base. I know you guys have been in business for 23 years. Like who have you serviced and who's in interest? Who's interested in your product right now, according to your site and some of the statistics you've been able to pull?
Right. And it's interesting that when you add crypto to solar, as typical lead generation or gaining interest from customers looking into it, it actually picked up because for years it was just a word of mouth marketing. The company had depended on basically it evolved from the company depending on word of mouth of, hey, you got solar, or you got this job and it did well, why don't you give me some referrals, neighbors, grandmothers, friends of how we performed on your building. And then as the internet kind of progressed over time, it became reviews based. And could you leave us a review on Yelp and Houzz and all these review sites?
Sure.
Which then we started being we're good at our job, so we get a lot of referrals based on previous customers. So over time, those we would also attend networking events. So we'd go to all these events and meet with homeowners and business owners and start doing like chamber of commerce meetings and stuff. So as we started segmenting from not just residential customers but also to business customers, that started going into our energy efficient department, to where we were starting to do grocery stores and warehouses and golf courses and dealership lots and all sorts of commercial clients. So our business started going into solar and energy efficiency.
Okay.
So over the years, we've had about 4,000 clients that we've done some sort of job on that location. With our community nowadays, or what I was leading into was that it's easier now to get solar customers because we're adding this crypto as an incentive in the future. So we've actually had about 11,000 people pre-register for the Simmitri products and services because of what we're getting into with this tokenized economy. Yeah. So it's amazing how we've almost tripled our business on the books, anyways.
Sure.
Just by saying that, hey, we're going to be adding tokens and incentives. We're stacking all these incentives into the solar system that you're already getting ready to install. And so now we have all these previous customers coming back to us and saying, hey, we're reading about what you're doing on social media and the buzz around what you've been doing. You installed us 10 years ago. What's new? What can we do now? And then we have people who have all these solar panels from years ago or energy efficiency products that are like, hey, does this apply to me? Even though I've had solar that was installed by a whole different company, that aren't even entertaining this in the beginning. So it's been overwhelming, but also exciting, to accept all these new registrants. So our pipeline is nice and full. We have a lot of great partnerships, a lot of great distribution channels. I'm in Denver, actually. I used to live in Silicon Valley, and I'm out here now, and we're opening up a new office in Denver. This is my home office, which it won't be this way in a couple months. So as I build the team here, and Simmitri goes from San Jose out to Denver, and then hopefully out to Jersey or New York, or kind of cover that ground. We are just going to be doing the same thing that we're doing, because now we've had a local community market for years, but now as we kind of grow into more national and hopefully international soon, we see a lot of progress.
Yeah. I mean, the crypto markets are obviously booming. I know everyone's kind of taken a little bit of a hit in the more recent turn of the market, since January, when we've seen pretty big decline, overall. But I think we're starting to see some trends starting to break, and some, excitement kind of coming back into the world of crypto now, seeing that the bottoms are definitely great opportunities for everybody to kind of get involved. So that's really cool. I know that adding crypto to it, I'm sure it did probably bring you a lot of exposure. So that's pretty cool. Well, so let me ask you this, like, what would you say is like the long-term kind of like vision of what Simmitri hopes to accomplish, starting inside of one home and, introducing some of this technology? Give us just a brief like overview at a high level of just kind of what you're looking to connect and ultimately provide as a product long-term.
Okay. Yeah. So the footprint of one building can actually we start from one appliance. And if we can make one circuit, one distribution node as efficient as possible through artificial intelligence, communicating with the smart contracts and determining on learned behavior of what the family unit inside of it, the technology be optimized around the family unit or the business's lifestyle. Ultimately, we want those profiles to be scalable. Right, so we take electronics, and so we're reaching out to manufacturers and through our partners to determine what's the best way for electronics to distribute, store, and produce energy as well. So we start at that very small level, and then it goes through the circuit, goes through the home level. We basically scale up to then look at how do we make the building's performance, the one building with all these what we call the microgrid. How do we make the microgrid as efficient as possible? And then it could be a copy-paste job from taking this profile, energetic footprint, into different pools across the neighborhoods, and which will become scalable from the city, county, state, national levels. And so as we make out this platform, those energy pools will start very small, but they'll grow when the communities when the participants start adding their profiles into those pools. So the idea that's the Simmitri smart grid, what we call the sim grid, is the idea is to make just every energy profile, every building performance just be the most optimized based on the relationship of AI and blockchain. I mean, that's the secret sauce of this whole thing. You couldn't get there 10 years ago, 5 years ago. You had to get to this level of efficiency and technology to allow these devices to communicate the way that they're doing now. So now that we see going into the next 5 years, the next 10 years, we see the ability to, that the lifestyle of the family unit or the participants who are in that building, it'll be optimized to them.
That's pretty cool. So let me ask you this too. I know that everybody out there is probably wondering, hey, how do I get SIM tokens? Like, how can I be a part of what Simmitri is doing? With all the cool stuff you guys are doing with AI and the blockchain and paying back. I know you guys get some debit card, it looks like, that you guys will be offering as well. I guess, will they be able to use their crypto just to kind of use it like at a store or something through the Visa card? Is that kind of the goal?
Yeah, that's the idea with the debit card, is that it'll be a vehicle to liquidate SIM tokens.
Oh, okay.
So,
cool.
or to reach out to stores, online portals, or hopefully like gas stations and stuff who will accept our debit card. But until then, there will be an API with exchanges that will transfer transfer SIM tokens into fiat currency on the fly, just like another card would do. There's third parties out there that you can create a crypto debit card very easily these days.
Okay.
So we're going to use one of those services that best serve our interest.
Cool.
And give them out to our participants who want to sign up with us. And so they'll be able to use SIM tokens on the fly, and there'll be little perks in there for gamification and for going the energy efficiency route that we recommend.
Okay. So what are some of the exchanges that you guys are currently listed on? And then give us just a little insight as to future exchanges that you're either looking to be involved with, or anything that you may have on the horizon that you can speak about.
Yeah, so actually we're on X-Rates exchange, which is about, I think it's like number 33 most popular exchange on CoinMarketCap.
Okay.
But the thing with that exchange is that most people buy just Bitcoin and Ethereum, and not a lot of people buy altcoins, even though they're adding a lot of altcoins these days. So we've been reaching out to several more exchanges. We've applied to about a dozen more in the last month.
Okay.
Been accepted to a handful of those. And obviously we can't say which ones until they announce it, and then we'll re-announce it. But we're looking to announce at least minimum one more in this month in July, hopefully two this month.
Great. Well, that's good. So guys, look at X-Rates. It's definitely a good place to start. You can learn a little bit more about the community and what they're doing there as well. I know they got a pretty decent profile that kind of at least gives you some insight into the company. So let me ask you this too. I know that, all the stuff that you're talking about, you've got AI, you've got, blockchain, you've got solar, renewables, battery storage, and everything. I mean, this sounds like a big undertaking. And I know with most solar companies, trying to connect all of the dots with this would potentially take a long time. So just give us just a brief insight into different partners that you have right now, because I know it'll probably take a lot to accomplish what you're trying to do. And then some of the partners, maybe most recent partners, and maybe some people that you're talking to right now, whatever you can tell us.
Okay. Yeah, we've had great partners that we've had for years. One is PG&E, utility company that dominates the West Coast, our backyard. So whatever initiatives that they come out with, we definitely try to position ourselves to be a part of and to help with clean energy projects and stuff that are going on.
Sure.
Additionally, since we've been a solar company for a long time, we have a lot of relationships through conferences and events that we've been going through, that we just organically build relationships and partners with other solar companies, and not just solar installers and people that are in the solar business, but that offer a wide range of renewable products. So although Simmitri may be branded as a Simmitri or as a solar company, it kind of goes beyond that, and it's starting to go into hydrogen fuel cells and starting to go in different directions as well. But the core partners right now are somewhat around the solar business. But we're going more into the utility relationship side, as well as the smart HEMS divide, so home energy management systems, smart home direction.
Okay. So I know that a lot of our guys out at Crypto U right now have been doing different bounty or referral type programs. And I know you touched on it just a little bit earlier about an auction type of environment that you're creating. So could you tell just our community a little bit of how they can be involved, or how they could potentially, generate some SIM tokens by helping you guys out, or just whatever the program is that you currently have, and how to be involved in it?
Yeah, we're about to announce this auction series that's going to allow you to participate with some tokens, but it'll also be a referral-based auction as well. That'll be one element to it. So as you sign up, you'll have a unique referral ID that you'll be able to have your friends, family, colleagues, or whoever sign up with you, and that'll add to your profile, your account. It'll credit you with more bidding power.
Okay. Hey, that sounds pretty cool. I don't think we've seen too many of those in this space yet. Not on the crypto side, at least.
Right.
Cool. Well, just want to tell everybody, definitely stay tuned for our next interview. We're definitely going to have Jonathan Garcia. He's the CTO of Simmitri. He'll be one of the next guests for us. He's going to take like a little deeper dive into the technology and how artificial intelligence works, like the relationships that they have with the utilities, and how all of these things, these terms called negawatts, NEGAWATTS, how that works, and just ultimately how you can create a cleaner, more renewable energy production and consumption there at your house. And so look forward to bringing you that next. So, but Wolf, before we let you go, like, is there anything else that you'd like to say to the Crypto U family?
Oh no, just I think that it's a great platform. As a trader as well, I always go to resources to find out information about companies myself. And having a big background in startups and stuff, there's a lot of homework and a lot of education that is needed. So by having Crypto U, I feel fortunate to be a part of this now and be interviewed, because I definitely believe that there has to be somewhat of an area that you can educate yourself on what is coming out or what Crypto U is trying to do. So I appreciate being on here and wish everybody the best of luck.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, Wolf. We really appreciate it. And thank you, Crypto U, for joining us again on this other segment, and look forward to more here in the future. See you guys.